one of the previous witnesses' testimony, it was said that that the American manufacturing is standing on the shoulders of 3D printing that was developed by other governments in Japan. Would you say that that's accurate? That you're standing on the shoulders of that technology?
Specifically as to what we do, our printing machine is not based on any Japanese patents. It's solely based on U.S. inventions, a U.S. supply chain, and is built within our factories in the U.S.
Thank you. Many critics argue that manufacturing simply can't return to the U.S. because we have high labor costs. From your perspective, what is the strongest counter-argument to that?
Strongest counter-argument is that right now we have European car makers that we are in a relatively high-cost labor market, California, shipping to Aston Martin and other companies. So Aston Martin, Bugatti, McLaren, Mercedes, and Porsche, these are customers of an American company with American workers shipping today. I think that is because American innovation can create tools for American workers that allow them to do things faster, better, and cheaper. And when that happens, then you create a competitive manufacturing infrastructure, which we absolutely can have, and we absolutely can rebuild our global manufacturing market share. But it has to be based on new leapfrog technology that exists today commercially.
Can you give us an insight as to the issues regarding supply chain? For example, the resources that you need. You have some objects in front of you that are printed with a type of aluminum. I think that the last aluminum smelter was in southeast Missouri. It's no longer there in the United States. Is there any concerns about the core materials in that supply chain?
I'd say we have a variety of materials that range from aluminum alloys we develop to high temp materials for hypersonic applications to high strength materials for munitions. From the very start, and the company was founded about a decade ago, we wanted to make sure that we had a secure supply chain. So we use U.S. allied suppliers. What I would say is these are metal powders. That atomization process, there is no reason that with different areas in the United States that have cheap, abundant energy, such as natural gas, that we couldn't bring back atomization production of metal powders and scale that as we build advanced manufacturing. And that is something we absolutely can do and should do.
Mr. Power, we have had previous hearings on the situation with our energy infrastructure, and can you expound on what a company is, what's going through their process when they're deciding where to locate a facility, and how much does electricity costs and availability play into that?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. Energy costs and regulations related to energy are a huge part of where we decide to put new factories in the United States. Firstly, just for speed of building, you would be probably surprised at how hard we could build a factory faster than we could get the permits to rig up electricity to it in certain states, which is a huge barrier to speed and pace, especially in the United States. And energy costs are such a huge part of our cost base that, compared to China, I think our energy cost is 10 to 20 times without subsidies. And the second point I'd make on energy costs is 95% of the cost of aluminum, as an example, is actually the cost of energy. So having energy too cheap to meet here in the United States is not just helpful for running factories and having energy grids that can scale with all these advanced factories, but also for the raw material costs and inputs that are being passed on to our customers. So I think it's incredibly important, and strength of the grid, clean power, and then the cheapness and scalability of that power really drive a lot of the decisions of where we put factories, where we put data centers, and any advanced facility going into the American states.
Thank you.